Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Purrely deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this one for you guys because we finally have Delicious Memory back to 2 thanks to the most recent list. And it makes this deck absolutely insane. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name, description, every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Purrely. Purrely's definitely a 3 of and is our main combo piece of the deck to help us go in for all of our XZ plays. This card is really, if this card is normal or special summon, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, add 1 excavated Purrely spell or trap to your hand. Also, place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. And once per turn, during your main phase, you can reveal a Purrely quick play spell in your hand to special summon an XZ monster from your X deck that mentions that monster by using this card you control as a material. If you do, attach the revealed card to the summoned monster, and it's treated as an XZ summon, which is a really cool ability to help you step into a bunch of awesome XZ plays, especially now that we have Delicious Memory back at 2. We then play 3 copies of Purrely. I really like Purrely at 3 in this build. You could probably just play 2 in the build, but I really like 3, especially since I have the 3 ultimate rares. But this card is great because if this card is normal or special summon, you can add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand, except a quick play spell. This card also lets you target a Purrely quick play spell in your graveyard and special summon an XZ monster from your X deck that mentions that card by using this card you control as a material, and if you do, attach that spell card to this summoned monster, and it is treated as an XZ summon, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3 of just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is definitely a 3 of to stop your opponent's monster effects. We then also play 3 copies of Nibiru because it's super easy to out Nibiru in this deck, and it's a great board breaker this format. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is great because it helps us get to Purrely Street, which is really good. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a 1-of in the deck, basically just to stop your opponent's hand traps while you're going in for all of your plays. We're then playing 2 copies of Delicious Memory. Delicious Memory is definitely a 2-of now that we finally have this card back at 2. And all of your Purrely quick play spells have the ability to let you discard a card, and if you do, special summon a level 1 Purrely monster from the deck, which is a really cool ability, but all of them also have an ability to give your XZ monsters that are Purrely XZ monsters a unique effect if they're attached to those cards as a material, which is a really cool ability. This card's unique ability is it lets your Purrely monster gain 300 attack defense for each material attached to it, which is a great ability to use. And this card also has a really cool effect that lets you choose a monster on the field, and until the end of the next turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle. And after choosing that card ability, you can activate these really cool abilities to be able to special summon a level 1 Purrely monster from the deck by just discarding a card. We then play 2 copies of Sleepy Memory. Sleepy Memory is also at 2, which is why we're just playing 2 copies in the build. And this card is great because the next battle or effect damage you take will be 0. And this card is a really cool effect that when it's attached to one of your Purrely XZ monsters, once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you get to draw a card. We then play 3 copies of Happy Memory. Happy Memory is definitely a 3-of in the build, and this card has the ability to choose 1 card on the field, and until the end of the next turn, the first time it would be destroyed by a card effect, it is not destroyed. And if this card is attached to one of your Purrely XZ monsters, this card can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of Purrely Happy Memories attached to this card +1, giving you multiple attacks, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Pretty Memory. Memory. Pretty Memory is really good as a 3-of in the deck as well, because this card is a great effect that each player gains 1,000 life points, which is really cool. And if this card is attached to one of your Purrely XZ monsters, then once per turn, you can send one of their card that you control to the graveyard, then target a card your opponent controls and attach to this card as a material, which is an insane ability. We then play 3 copies of My Friend Purrely. My Friend Purrely is really good for consistency in the deck, which is why I play this card as a 3-of, because you can pay 500 life points to reveal 3 Purrely cards from your deck, except a copy of My Friend, and your opponent randomly picks one of them to add to your hand. Also, you shuffle the rest back in the deck. And if a face-up Purrely XZ monster you control leaves the field because an opponent's card, even during the damage step, you can add up to 3 Purrely quick play spells with different names from your graveyard to your hand, which is insane that you're basically just going to grab the materials back out of the graveyard, put them back in your hand so you can use them all over again. We then play 3 copies of Purrely Street. Purrely Street is really good as a 3-of in the build, as this card has the ability your opponent cannot target Purrely monsters you control with card effects the turn they are special summoned. And once per turn, if a face-up Purrely XZ monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon one level 1 Purrely monster from your deck or graveyard, which is really cool to instantly get a Purrely monster out on your side of the field. And once per turn, during the end phase, you can target a Purrely XZ monster on the field and attach one Purrely quick play spell from your deck or graveyard to that monster as a material to give it bonus effects, which is really cool. We then play 3 copies of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is definitely a 3-of just to stop your opponent's hand traps, which is really good in this deck to be able to do. And we play so many hand traps in this build that this card just goes insane. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Purrely. Purrely is really good as a 1-of in the build, as it lets you target a Purrely XZ monster you control and special summon from your X deck one Purrely XZ monster with a different rank by using that target as a material, but return it back to the X deck during the end phase of the next turn. And it is treated as an XZ summon, and you transfer all materials to that monster, which is a really cool effect. You can also banish this card in the graveyard and then target up to 3 Purrely monsters in your graveyard and shuffle them back in the deck, but you can only activate one of this card per turn, but it's really good in the deck to help you recycle and summon out the exact monster you need. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is really good just to stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with 2 copies of Noir. Noir is definitely a 2-of in the build because this is our main boss monster we're trying to summon out as quickly as possible. And this card is insane because when you start stacking those quick play spells under this card and giving it all those bonus effects, this card gets insane. This card has the ability that you can also XZ summon this card by using a rank 2 monster you control with 5 or more materials, and you transfer all the materials to this card. This card is also unaffected by your opponent's activated effects while it has 5 or more materials, and you can actually detach 2 materials from this card and then target 1 card your opponent controls or in the graveyard and place it on the bottom of the deck. And it's a quick effect if this card has a level 1 Purrely monster as a material, which is a really cool ability for this card to have. But this card is basically the towers of the deck that you're trying to summon out to your side of the field and put as many materials as you can under this card. We then play 2 copies of Happiness. Happiness is really good in this deck as a 2-of, as it's very easy to summon out to your side of the field. And at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can add a Purrely card from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card has a Purrely Happy Memory as a material, you can actually have the attack of one face-up monster on the field up to thrice per turn. When you activate a Purrely quick play spell, quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card as a material, then return a spell or trap your opponent controls back to the hand, which is a crazy powerful effect. We then play 2 copies of Beauty. Beauty is really good in the deck as a 2-of as well because this card has the ability once per turn, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effect until the end of the turn, and it's a quick effect. This card has a Pretty Memory as a material. And up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, quick effect, you can attach that card to this card as a material. Then you can change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. We then play just a single copy of Plump because Delicious Memory is still at 2. We just still need a single copy of Plump in the deck. But this card is insane because once per turn you can target 2 spells and traps in the graveyards and attach from this card as a material, and it's a quick effect if this card has a copy of Delicious Memory as a material, and up to thrice per turn when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, quick effect, you can attach it to this card on the field as a material, then banish a monster from the field until the end of the turn, which is a great effect. We then play a single copy of the Little Noir. Little Noir is just a good one of the deck because Sleep in Memory is at 2 as well. And this card is ability once per turn, you can discard a card and then target 1 card your opponent controls, and up to 2 if this card has a copy of Sleep in Memory as a material, and return those cards back to the hand. And up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely quick play spell, quick effect, you can attach to this card on the field as a material, then set a Purrely trap directly from your deck, helping you get to your copy of Purrely. We then play a single copy of Downer Magician because it's so easy to give Zeus additional materials and just really good overall in the deck. Play a single copy of Assembled Nightingale. Assembled Nightingale is what we summon to our side of the field to make Zeus, and then we use Downer Magician to be able to give it an additional material, which is really nice. We play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is really good in the deck to help you just use it as a board wipe. 1 copy of Typhon. Typhon's also really good as a one-of in the deck because it's very easy to make depending on your matchup. We then play a single copy of Moon. Moon helps out a lot in the deck because this card helps you pop cards on the field. You can actually treat a fairy monster and then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy, which is a pretty cool ability. Play a single copy of SP Little Knight. If you don't have SP Little Knight, you can play an additional copy of Zeus in the deck, which is another option for you guys. But this card is really good in the deck as a one-of because it's a double interruption. And then finally play a single copy of Relinquished Anima because it gobbles up monsters on the field. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play now, especially now that we have Delicious Memory back at 2. It makes this deck super powerful, and this deck is going to be a real powerhouse this format because it's just a really awesome deck. I absolutely love Purrely, and it's just a really fun deck to play. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.